Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and today, since in honor of Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2 coming out today, we're going to be taking a look at the Mandalorian and his Beskar armor from the Black Series. So today, it's Friday, so you know what it is. It is a figure review, and today we're going to be taking a look, as I said in the intro, the Mandalorian from, of course, the Star Wars Mandalorian. Definitely one of my favorite, one of my favorite things happening right now within Star Wars, other than, me being an avid reader of the comics and kind of learning about the books of what's going on in there. It is, The Mandalorian, I think, is such a great show, and the Season 2 premiere last Friday was phenomenal. It was really, really great. I'm really excited for today's episode, so, especially of where the first was just so amazing. So, let's get into the Black Series. So this is actually, I think, the first Black Series figure I've reviewed. I am not, a novice to Black Series figures at all. I've collected them for quite a while, I started around during when the Force Awakens was coming out, and I've kind of hopped on in there here and there. It's not my primary of what I collect, because I think everybody who's seen my videos, I primarily collect a lot of horror, sci-fi, and a lot of Godzilla too. But I do make exceptions for Star Wars. The Black Series is definitely one of them. I actually do. I feel like I want to get the rest of the Mandalorian group, aka Cara Dune and IG-11, but let's not talk about them. Let's talk about the Mandalorian. So this is the Beskar version, of course. You can't see it because he's out the packaging already. Had a really fun time playing with the figure. Took some photos if you guys saw it on my Instagram. So first thing you'll note, this is the new Black Series packaging, which I really, really like. It has it's a really, real cool style where it's harkens to the original kind of Black Series packaging back in the day, with the medallions and everything, people remember. But one of my favorite things is the side where they can display really nicely, and you also get a cool profile. You get a profile shot of Djarin, aka Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, which really looks really, really good. I gotta find. I will when this video comes out, I will have who the artist is for these particular shots, because they're just beautiful. I've seen, so far I've seen the figures I've gotten my hands on with this newer packaging have been, several clone troopers, like the Camino one, and I think a Phase 1 one, but it looks really, really cool. Then you get a profile shot at the back of the Mandalorian, getting his read-up of his Beskar armor, and there's the profile shot right here. You get Star Wars on the side, nothing really at the top. You get all the credits on the bottom. So, with that all the way of the box and everything, let's get into Djarin himself. There's Djarin out of the packaging, and aka the Mandalorian, of course, Mando, whatever you want to call him. And man, what I gotta say, I already really, really liked the original figure. I really love the design, the look of that figure, particularly when, even when the show was coming out and we saw the production shots, I immediately fell in love with the design of the Mandalorian, because it harkened back to, for me, it reminded me of, a gunslinger from a Western, and it reminded me a little bit of, kind of Destiny, for me, at least. I feel like Din Djarin in the original, the first season, especially when he has his, mismatched armor, he reminds me of a cowboy, and he also kind of reminds me of a hunter from Destiny a little bit. So there are a few minor gripes there's one minor gripe that I have for this figure, but other than that, I think I've really, really dig this figure. I enjoy it. It's super cool, super well done. I feel like the Beskar armor isn't as shiny as everybody maybe wanted it to be, in comparison, but it looks pretty good in my opinion, and but then we'll jump into some of the details a little later. But before we jump into the figure himself, he does come with a few accessories, so let's get on to those. So, the first and original Mandalorian figure, he does come with a few accessories, primarily his weapons, but this guy comes with a little bit more. So first things first, let's start with his blaster, which looks really, really good. I think it's a noticeable difference with I think it's very different comparative to the one from the first release. Hold on, let me compare it real quick. So yeah, top one is the newer blaster, and the bottom one is the one that came with the first release of the figure. And it's kind of weird. So I think this one works, this silver one works really nice for the new Beskar armor, which makes sense. And this one is a little rugged, looks like a cowboy gun. I do really dig these. These are actually probably my favorite blaster pistols since the DL44. Like, the DL44 is primarily my favorite blaster in Star Wars right now, but like I like these. I like this. This one has a lot more silver on it. Maybe just because maybe Din just cleaned it or something, so maybe it looks cleaner. Although like during the episode, the newest episode, I didn't really see, not the newest episode, but the last week's episode, because I haven't seen the newest episode yet. I didn't notice that his blaster was any really different comparative to his one that he used in season 1. Like, in terms of, like, the silver and stuff, so, I'll have to wait and watch out for those to see if there's any difference. He also has his, his rifle, aka his pulse rifle, as Cara Dune called it at one point. Really, really cool. I really love this rifle in particular, just because it reminds me, it's basically Boba Fett's first gun from the holiday special, which is really, really cool. And really cool that, they take stuff from, like, either concept art or stuff from the original, like, Legends, stuff like from the Star Wars special, and kind of bring it into the forefront. And as this looks really, really cool. Mine did have a problem of where the top, and you even notice that now it's relatively bent. It was a lot worse before I, like, fixed it. All you really need to do is just take a hair dryer, put it on really hot, then bend it back, then it'll go back to place. But once again, like his original, I think the detail on it is really, really great, and the scope really good. Like, and you also get multiple different paints. You get like this, you get brown for the stock, you get silver for the like the main metal, and you get the barrel is like a darker gray kind of color, which looks really, really cool. And the silver looks really, really cool too on top of it. So the biggest difference with Din Djarin, comparative to the first version, is he comes with his jetpack, his brand new jetpack that he gets at the end of season 1, which looks like pretty cool. It is a kind of flat gray. It looks like a flat gray color, in my opinion, but generally it does the job. It looks really good on him. I know there are people, there's customizers out there who will, like, customize the living crap out of these figures, and, like, they will fix this for sure. But of, like, what I can tell, it is generally an accurate representation of what we see in the show. There's going to be a newer version that comes with a child and a detachable mask. Helmet from Din Djarin, so, but I don't know if that jetpack will be improved. But, like, once again, I don't think it's bad. Mine does have a problem here, which could probably get, like, it's a little bending right here. It's not as, like, straight, if you noticed. Like, if you notice, it's not, like, straight, but once again, I think a hairdryer could easily fix that. So, with that, the accessories all out of the way, let's jump into Din Djarin himself. Let's jump into the Mandalorian figure himself. So here we have Din Djarin. Well, this is a closer look at Din Djarin, of course, and it's kind of weird. So it's showing up just because of the light of where the armor looks a lot more shiny than it is. The silver, they didn't use a chrome clearly for this, even though, like, I think that would be relatively cool, and I maybe see that maybe down the road eventually, because they've been doing the carbonized version, which is essentially what the carbonized version of figures like the Boba Fett and even the original Mando that was released, like, there was a Target exclusive, has a kind of, like, carbon look to it. So I think we'll get a version of this guy with a carbonized look. But I really only want the carbonized version, like the carbonized look or the kind of silvery look, just on the armor itself, not necessarily like any of the body parts, because I think the other like the cloth and everything, like all his where the armor, it's not armor, it's just like his clothing that is, like, attached to the armor, looks really, really cool. So one thing you'll note, this is a post. This is definitely post This is post the redemption episode, so this is when him and the child become the Mudhorn clan, which looks really, really cool. The logo looks really, really well done, I think, and it's probably one, like, I would have liked one that didn't have it, but ultimately going forward, this is how Din is going to look throughout the season of Season 2, hopefully, with the jetpack, of course. But right now, we're just looking at him with the just how he is. So this is without him any upgrades. So one thing that I do note is, and a thing that is very different, like the main chest piece armor right here from the Beskar is completely different compared to the original release. Which makes sense just because that original armor maybe wasn't Beskar armor, maybe it was just something that was some kind of basic alloy that they try to throw. Like that, in the show it really gives a depth of where you see like Djarin getting the Beskar from the client, and it really shows that it's really valuable because it was basically ransacked by the Empire because it's a valuable metal. But it looks really, really cool. The detailing and also the detailing on the back is really, really cool. I think it gives me a very Boba Jango Fett vibe from episode 2, which I really, really like. And then you get like his belt loop and everything, which looks really, really cool, really well detailed. Has like the ammo for the shock rifle, for his pulse rifle, I should say. You got a few like kind of detonators right here, which look really well done. And you also have I like how his armor is, like, even though some of it is nice, he does still retain some of the, like, the armor that he did use, because this is, like, kind of half Beskar, because you got Beskar right here, and you got, like, whatever metal, so there wasn't really enough for that, because he probably gave it to a lot of the stuff to the foundlings. So then you get this one, which looks really, really good. One of my favorite like parts, because this reminds me of an ODST from Halo 3, like mainly Buck, where it has like the kind of like canisters attached to it. I assume these are like little, same thing with these, they're little shock, like little ammo cartridges for the pulse rifle, which looks really good. Here's his gauntlet, which I think is, no, this one's the Whispering Willows, like little missiles, which look really, like, it's really, really good detailed. And I believe this one's our flamethrower arm. And also another thing to note, that those are definitely Shore Trooper, like, wrists. So yeah, my only complaint with this particular figure, my biggest complaint, is the cape. The cape isn't a problem on the original figure because, one, he doesn't have the jetpack and it works. Generally, I think that cape works really well. With this, it doesn't, because you have the jetpack in it, and as you guys saw with the like the opening shot of this guy, he doesn't, like, I have to get it like in a weird position so it like looks like this. Like, while it looks like, I think it looks cool like this, luckily I do have a third-party cloak on order from a guy who makes them off of Instagram. I will leave his, if any of you guys decide to pick up this figure and you don't necessarily like the cape, you can get either a regular cloth cape or one with bendy wires, so you can do some dynamic scenes with them. I will link that guy in the description below if you want to check it out. They're really, like, his stuff is really affordable, I think, and it looks really well done. He's definitely one of my favorites on Instagram, and I think it's like OT Custom. But that guy, so the gentleman who makes the custom cloth capes is OT Customs on Instagram. He has a page, so I would definitely suggest checking his stuff out, because he's done Darth Vader capes, and I think he does a few Batman capes. If you're into Hot Toys, he does custom Hot Toys ones too. So with that out of the way, besides my minor kind of rant about the cape, but like, it's not too big of a complaint. Like, it looks good, it's serviceable. It's just really kind of confusing with Hasbro of why they decide to do cloth capes for some figures and they just decide to do the plastic cape for some other figures like Djarin, like the Mandalorian, of course. Sorry if I've been calling him Djarin the whole episode. I know a lot of people will know him as Mandalorian, but I usually like to call a character by their actual name. So with that out of the way, let's jump into articulation. So, Djarin, the Mandalorian, he can look up a little bit that high, which is pretty good. He can look down pretty freaking good. He can his head can move side to side, and I think it's on a ball joint. His arms move out that far. A little hindrance because of the upper part of the pauldron, but it's still pretty good in terms of like how it looks. He has single jointed elbows, and you would think for me that is a negative, but at the same time you can actually, like, I think the thing that's impressed me with the Mandalorian, both Mandalorian figures, is you can get him holding his pulse rifle in a like rifleman position really well, like really good. It looks really good, and you don't even need double jointed arms for it. It looks really good. His wrists are on a kind of they're on a hinge, but they rotate and move up and down. Like, they're on a hinge, like a ball joint hinge, kind of. Not a ball joint hinge, but like they're on a hinge, and they can go up and down like that, not necessarily up and around, so that could be a disadvantage. Same thing with the left arm. You can kick up that far, you can kick back that far just due to the articulation within the leg. He has double jointed knees, which is great. Foot all the way down. Foot can go, foot can go down like that. Foot can go up, and he's got a beautiful ankle pivot. Like, Shardom's Prime would be very happy with that pivot. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into some size comparisons. All right, and here he is compared to some figures from different companies. Here he is compared to the Jungle Hunter NECA Predator. Here he is compared to the same company, Marvel Legend from Hasbro, the Marvel Legend Agent Venom from Hasbro, and the new Imperium Marine from Warhammer 40k from McFarlane Figures. And as always, the Black Series is a little tinier comparative to the 7-inch scale figures like the NECA figures, and even the new Warhammer figure, which is, although this guy's pretty bulky, he's a little smaller than Agent Venom, but like these figures, they should be roughly kind of a similar scale because they are the same company, although different kind of design teams. Compared to some other Black Series figures, we have them compared to the Target, aka the Star Wars Outpost exclusive Hondo Ohnaka, and the new 40th anniversary Boba Fett from the Empire Strikes Back series, and the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. So yeah, he is he's on par with a lot of figures. He's a little bit taller than Luke, which makes sense, and he's roughly kind of on par with Boba Fett. One interaction I hope we get to see in Mandalorian Season 2 is not just Boba Fett and Din Djarin. I hope that'll be a definite. We're probably going to be seeing that due to maybe what happens at the end of the first episode, but you know. But I really want to see his interactions with Hondo and Ohnaka. I think they would have, Hondo would be a really fun character to have on Mandalorian. And it's a long shot, but I'd love to see him with Din Djarin and Luke Skywalker in the same room if they get a younger actor to play Luke Skywalker. Alright, and here we have him compared to some other Mandalorians, of course. We have Paz Vizsla, aka the Heavy Mando, the deluxe figure. We have the original Mandalorian from the first season, technically, first 3 episodes. And, of course, we have the child, of course. So, yeah, he looks really cool. Like, of which one I prefer, I really love them both. I kind of actually prefer the Beskar version of the character, even though this look is really cool, really rugged, very cowboy-esque aesthetics. There's just something about the armor I really dig. And also having him next to Paz Vizsla is really cool, because this is such a cool figure, too. It's one of my favorite kind of bigger Black Series figures I've ever bought. So, yeah, and of course, we have the little child. Alright, and here we have Din Djarin and the child, of course, just hanging out, chilling. Big child looking at his space dad. So yeah, what do I have to say about this Black Series figure? Even though it is the same mold as the original figure, I think it is definitely, but it being the Beskar armor, I just love it generally. Like, I think a lot of this figure shares a lot of mold pieces with the first one, with a few newly sculpted ones, of course the chest being the big one, the back, the the jetpack and the newer kind of gauntlets look really, really good. Of which one I prefer, I do love this one a lot, but I also do love the original just because of how kind of cowboy-esque it looks. If you guys do definitely, with minor gripes aside, my only minor gripe about the figure being the cloth, the cape, of course, which is going to be rectified just because I am going to be getting a cloth cape, and it'll look a lot nicer, especially, it just looks awkward with the jetpack on, but like if you have the pulse rifle on, if you just want to pose him like this next to the child, he looks really, really good. So yeah, I would definitely suggest picking up this figure, and if you are willing to get a third-party cloth cape for this guy, I definitely suggest it. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys liked the review of this this figure, this wonderful figure. And make sure to hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when we upload a video, like What's in the Box Wednesday, Mythical Mountain Monday, What's in the Box Wednesday, sorry about that, jumped ahead, and figure reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new episode of The Mandalorian as much as I will. So with that being said, I hope you guys, don't forget, give us a like too. It would be really appreciated. And also, check out our Mercari stores, of course. You can follow, those will be in the links down below. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoy the new episode of The Mandalorian. Peace.